teams, a couple good stadiums.
Yeah, and I've never been to Bush. I've been to Royal Stadium.
I haven't been to Bush, but I just see that thing at the
I've been to Royal Stadium 67 times.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in North.
Well, that makes sense.
An hour and a half north of Kansas City.
Yeah.
We'd go to one time when the little kids were growing up. We'd go to probably 10 games.
Yep. I get that.
My dad's radio station.
Have you ever done the whole East Coast thing?
No, I
Well, you gotta do that eventually.
See, I wasn't.
It's just so easy.
This year was second, but my morning show. So I can't. I mean, I said everything else. I was running the first 20 things in a row. I originally from Boston. Minnesota, Boston. We're going to do that soon. Now we're going to do fly the same place like Kansas City.
So you can do that. You can do so many on that East Coast. So quick.
Oh yeah.
So quick. I mean, I gotta do that too. That's a fun trip.
That's a must do.
That's a fun trip. Really fun.
Well, good afternoon. Glad to have everybody here today. I want to thank our people that are following us on Facebook and YouTube today, watching the press conference live. It's a historic day here at Lamar University and the baseball program. We've had the same gentleman doing a great job leading our program for the last 39 years and had a great send-off, and we are very happy for him. But today we start a new era, and we're excited about where that era is taking us. We've had to get to experience him for the last about 6 months and everything that he brings to the table. And I think what you're going to find with this young man is he's the perfect fit for Lamar University and the Cardinals baseball program. We did a long, exhaustive search. We're able to bring him in early, and I think you saw the impact that he had on the team this year. So it is my great pleasure to introduce the head baseball coach at Lamar University, Mr. Will Davis.
Thank you, guys. Well, first off, let me start by thanking some people, and can't start anywhere better than to thank God for leading me to Beaumont, Texas, and this wonderful university. You never know all the twists and turns that life's going to take you, and you never dream that you'll be in certain places, but when it works out, couldn't be any more grateful, and just want to thank God for all that. I want to thank my parents, Randy and Cammie Davis. Obviously, my father was my inspiration and just my mentor growing up, being a college baseball coach, and just always wanted to be like him, and he provided a great blueprint for me. I want to thank my mother for allowing me to grow up in a college baseball dugout. Probably not the best idea for an elementary school kid, and it led to a lot of trips to the principal's office, but hopefully now it'll benefit me in this role. So I also want to thank my lovely wife, Danielle. With all due respect to Cade Civic, I think we all can agree that this is my #1 recruit from LSU. And so I want to thank her for all her support and making the journey over, the short 3-hour journey over to Beaumont, and always being there for me. I also want to thank Paul Maneri for taking a chance on me 9 years ago, and first thing he did was show me the stack of applicants for the director of baseball operations job that I applied for, and over 100 applicants he showed me, and let me know how lucky I was to be the one that he chose. And obviously he could have chose a lot of other people, but he chose me, and I'll never forget that. And that kind of leads me to my next person. I'll never forget the way that Coach Maneri believed in me, and now another person's believing in me, and that's Jason Henderson. And I want to thank Jason for believing in me, and I know that the list of applicants was probably as long for this job as it was for that job, if not longer, and that'll never be lost on me how lucky I am to have this job. The last person I want to thank is Coach Jim Gilligan. working with him the last 4 months was nothing but an honor, and his selflessness of allowing me, and really it being his idea to bring me in, shows you how much he cares about this program and where he wants to see it going. And he's not somebody that's small that wants to see the next guy fail just so he looks good. He really cares about this program, and there's no doubt it's his life's work, and I will go out there every day and make him proud, hopefully. I think he's definitely in a better place now. I don't mean he died or anything. He's actually, for those of you that don't know, in a multi-million-dollar beach home in the Hamptons. So I think we can all agree that's a little bit of a better place than as much as I like the Montaigne Center. He's in a good spot. So nothing makes me happier, and the only thing I'll say is going forward is nothing makes me happier. I fully believe in my heart that the renaissance of Lamar baseball began this year. And I think that Coach Jim Gilligan had as much of an impact on that as anyone. And as we go forward with this renaissance and return to, being a nationally recognized power at our level, I feel very great knowing that Jim Gilligan is going to have a hand in that and got to say that he was a part of that. And we started this thing together, and myself and the staff will continue it on. But I think this year was a great year, but the future is very bright, and the best days for us in this millennium are ahead. So I'm very excited about that, and it's great to be here. And like I said, I told Andrew on Sunday night, and I told Danny last week, I'm living my dream job right now, and I wake up every morning excited to make this impact on this university and on these young men. I can't wait for the fall to start. I can't wait for the season to start. It seems like a long ways away, but it's going to be a fun ride, and I hope to go through it with all of you. So thank you so much.
Will, you've had a year under your belt to go through the Southland, things along those lines. How much is that going to prepare you for the future here, getting that year under your belt?
I think that's huge, Harold. It's we played a bunch of the Southland teams when I was at LSU, but we didn't play all of them, and we didn't really see the weekend. I didn't get to see them for a 3-game series a lot of times, and so I got a little bit of a snapshot of some of the schools when I was there. But going through the rigors of a Southland season and seeing what it takes to win week in and week out, I think was tremendous. It helped. It changed my philosophy on a recruiting standpoint. Almost daily. I learned more and more about this conference, and so coming over here from that aspect also was huge. And I think I have a pretty good grasp of what it takes now to be at the top of the conference year in and year out.
How big was it to, you basically were the skipper when you guys beat LSU, when you guys beat, I think it was North Dakota State, the next game was Coach Gilligan. How big was it for you as a coach to be able to make the calls on those 2 big games like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I see. It was great, and I'm obviously another thing that I'm indebted to Coach Gilligan for doing. As an assistant coach, we sit there and don't verbally second guess the head coach all the time, but we mentally second guess him a lot of times. So, for the last 9 years, I've been doing that, and saying what if I agreed or disagreed or what I would do differently. But to actually have the reins for 2 games was big. Being able to manage, like we talked about last week, not just the offensive strategy and the substitutions, but manage the bullpen as well. And so, I've always done it mentally, but actually being able to physically do it was a big benefit.
Last Wednesday was obviously your first day, and it's kind of just a normal day. You're just doing normal things. Now you have the press conference. You have the official sort of tidings of you being here. What's it like for you emotionally?
I guess it finally feels like it's official and it's here. It's going. Even when Coach Gilligan was still here, I was moving forward with all the future, all the long-term plans, obviously, as within mind that I was the head coach, making all the. I wasn't checking with him on who we should recruit or anything like that. Now, so I knew that this day was coming, but I guess it actually feels finally like okay, this is it. I'm making the decisions, and we're moving forward with me as the head coach. So I guess it does feel pretty good from that aspect. Unfortunately, I wish we were still playing, and it's kind of one of those weird things like we talked about. It's I wish that I'm glad to be a head coach, but I wish I could have held off a little bit longer. But we're like I said, we're putting our best foot forward and making the most of it.
Talk about that recruiting. How's it going?
It's going great, Harold. It's even better than I expected. I knew that Texas was a great state to recruit. I didn't know just how good it was until I actually got over here. the talent level is just, it's ridiculous. And I almost regret now when I was at LSU, not recruiting it more. You know, if I could go back, and it's been great. I mean, the caliber of players that you see that, I don't want to say slip through the cracks, but that are uncommitted to bigger schools, even late in their recruiting careers, you know, in their high school careers or junior college careers, is pretty impressive. And it gives me great hope that we can sign some pretty good classes here going forward. And I think we've done that with this class, which we're almost done with. Probably try to add 1 or 2 more guys for next year's team, but we've signed a pretty good class, and that's hard to do in such a short period of time like we did. And I don't think that would even be possible in a lot of states. But in Texas, there's plenty of talent to go around, and if you work hard and try to uncover it, you can find some pretty good ones.
Even locally, you look heavy locally?
Yeah, obviously the Southeast Texas area is a great area for baseball, and you know, we want to build our team with Southeast Texas kids. You know, I mean, we don't want to miss out. We can't get them all. You know, I watched Ford Proctor last night play against LSU, and he's obviously a great player. And you know, there's a lot of great players that have come through Southeast Texas and gone to other schools, and you know, we're not going to get all of them probably, but we can offer all of them, and we're going to know who they are. Probably the first school to know who they are from a very early age, and develop relationships with them. And it is my goal that if there are players good enough in this area, that we get them, and if we don't get them, that they almost feel bad about telling me that they're going somewhere else, because we've developed that close of a relationship with them. So you know, that's the goal, is to build it with Southeast Texas kids, and I think that's a great base to start.
Every coach puts their stamp on the program. What will your stamp be for Lamar baseball?
You know, I think just an exciting, energetic brand of baseball. You know, I want our guys to play exciting baseball. I don't want to just win. I want our guys to play hard, run the bases hard, yet smart, but be aggressive. You know, I want to do things that are exciting. I want guys to, you know, from one standpoint this year, we had an exciting team. We had a team that hit a lot of extra base hits, and that's cool, but I want to have a team that's dynamic in all aspects, that people want to come watch. I mean, I don't want to be a team that bleeds out wins, you know, by sack bunting and winning 1-0. I mean, I don't think anybody really wants to watch that, quite frankly. And you can just look at the West Coast attendance numbers to see that. I know, Danny, you're from Arizona State. I'm not sure exactly how they play, but I know when we went to UCLA for the regional when I was at LSU, nobody was in the stands, and they hit 240 as a team. So maybe that had something to do with it. We want to be a dynamic, exciting brand of baseball for sure. And my whole philosophy, which I have written down and I gave to all the players that were returning last Friday, is that I want kids that love to play the game of baseball. And I want that to be evident when I see them in recruiting. And that's why, you know, I like being a recruiter as a head coach, is because I get to see those kids that, you know, love playing baseball, and, you know, you can pick the ones that you want to coach. And you know that, I mean, I like this. I'm a baseball fan as much as anyone. And so if I like them and I'm a fan of them, then I hope that you guys will be too.
You're from LSU, and normally this is a week where you're probably in a uniform coaching somewhere in the NCAA regional or preparing for super regional. Now, I know you're excited about this opportunity right here, but how much are you chomping at the bit to be back in a uniform coaching Lamar this time next year in the regional?
Yeah, I kind of told Danny I hate the offseason. I don't mean, you know, I like recruiting, I like all that stuff, but what we live for is the competition, you know, and I'm excited to have a team, prepare them, and then, you know, turn them loose on the competition come February. And yeah, it's hard. It's hard to watch it, and it just makes me sick that I know that 2 or 3 more games, probably two or three more wins were the difference in us getting in or not getting in. I'm jealous of the other teams, you know, and you're right. I hate that it's going to take us 8 more months to play again and, you know, show everybody how good we are, because I know that we will be good, and I think we'll be right there. My hope, and I really do think it's a realistic possibility, is that, you know, this time next year we will be playing on television. So
There's a chance 2 teams going to the super regional you guys beat this year.
yeah, so, you know, Arizona last night took care of business against ULL, and I'm thinking, man, beat them 13-5. That could be us. And you know, you see that, and you're so excited. And, you know, obviously we beat LSU, and it just shows you how close we are. You know, it's the difference between, you know, some of these teams is just so minute. And you know, I think we're right there. I really do. You know, look, in postseason baseball, I've been a part of a lot of postseasons. You got to have some luck too. You got to get a good draw sometimes. You got to get, you know, that 4 seed to beat that 1 seed, and now you're sitting pretty as a 2 or 3 seed. And if you win your first game, you're in the catbird seat. Everybody always says catbird seat. I've never really known what that meant. I don't know what is a catbird. Is that? But anyway, you know, it's a good saying, I guess. But that's our goal, is to you know, win those games and put ourselves in a good position. And I think the more you're in postseason, the better chance you have of coming through, and that's our goal, is to be in postseason year in and year out. And eventually, I think we'll break through and win a tournament. I know no Southland Conference teams have ever been to a super regional. I would love to be the first.
Now, did Coach Gilligan give you any advice, one word of advice before he left?
I mean, yeah, I mean, the messages were daily, so I mean, there was no, a lot of things. His biggest thing, I mean, I think the biggest piece of advice he gave me is embracing this community, and just getting involved with it and, just immersing yourself in it. Don't be somebody that's passing through, which, that's never been my goal, is to be someone that's passing through. We're all in on Beaumont. We moved to Beaumont and we're ready to go. And I know this is going to be my second home. In Baton Rouge will always be home for me, but it's something that we've immersed ourselves in. And I think it's great advice from Coach Gilligan, and I see the way that he's been received, throughout town, wherever we went. Obviously, he's a rock star, and we couldn't have lunch without him getting stopped, 50 times. So he's definitely living proof of that, and I'm just going to try to live that as well.
We're going to take one more question, and then we can give you one-on-ones with him. Just come see me at that. But we'll take one more question.
You've got a couple of assistant spots to fill. Do you have a timetable on when you're trying to get those?
Well, actually, so Scotty Hatton is a person that he's gonna stay on staff and actually take on the roles of recruiting coordinator. We're gonna add that to him. I did my homework on Scotty before I even came over here, and working with him this spring was great. Signing 21 players in the middle of a season while that was going on. So we signed 21 players and won 35 games. I didn't do that alone, and he's obviously his track record speaks for itself, and Lamar's offense has been at the top of the conference the last 5 or 6 years. And so he's a great hitting coach. He's a great recruiter. He's a great guy. Loves Lamar. So that was an easy decision for me. We're very close to filling the pitching coach role, and hopefully we'll have somebody for you guys in the next week or so.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
If you need one-on-ones, I'll write those down.
If you want to get a picture with your wife or something. Since you're both so dressed up and looking nice.